sunrise, new day's dawning, and it's calling you and me, where the mighty Mississippi flows by Memphis, Tennessee. We've got woodlands, fields, and water. Hey, there is no better way. You can find out all about it on Outdoors with Larry Ray. Make some time, take the family, ask a friend, but don't delay. Listen up and learn about it on Outdoors with Larry Ray. Listen up and learn about it on Outdoors with Larry Ray.
Good Saturday morning and welcome to another edition of the award-winning Outdoors with Larry Ray. Brought to you proudly by Tennessee Wildlife Resource Agency, Barton Power Sports, Sportsman's Warehouse, and Best Care Home Services. Now, here's your host, Larry Ray.
Hey, good Saturday morning. Welcome to Outdoors with Larry Ray on our flagship station here in Memphis, Tennessee, ESPN 790, but also for all you good folks in Brownsville at 1520 AM and 95.3 FM, and in Jackson, Tennessee on News Talk 101.5, and both of those stations in Brownsville and Jackson are streaming the show 24/7, so you can listen to Outdoors with Larry Ray just about any time you want to.
Are we having a mariachi band today?
No mariachi
Cinco
band.
de Mayo,
this is
man.
first Saturday of the month. It is Cinco de Mayo, and of course that means that yes, we have brought him back, even though he is no longer a part of the Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency family.
What's that?
He is retired, and that is our man David Gabbard.
Gabbard.
Good to have you here, David Gabbard.
It's a pleasure. Always a pleasure to come down and visit.
It is because you know you're going to be leaving.
Yeah.
You're going back home to Lexington.
With this Cinco de Mayo, I figure he's going to have a big celebration today.
We'll have Mexican food after the show sometime today. And then, of course, that means that Gene Smith is also here. Good morning, Gene.
Good morning.
You and Dave are sharing a microphone because we've got one microphone for our special in-studio guest this morning.
We're singing back up.
Yeah, you're going to sing back up to him. And that is our good friend and commissioner, member of the Tennessee Fish and Wildlife Commission, which I'm still working on.
No, you got it.
I've got it, but I've got it written down. And, of course, you probably recognize that. He does have a radio voice. He really does, and that's
He's got
a radio face too.
I did not say that. He fits right in with us.
He's got a good FM voice.
He does.
Well,
he does.
You are on FM in Jackson.
Our good friend Bill Cox. We're glad to have Bill. Good morning, Bill.
Thanks for having me. Good morning.
And we're going to talk with Bill through this show because we've got some subjects later on that we're going to have guests from on this as we try to first Saturday of each month kind of spotlight the TWRA on Outdoors with Larry Ray. Not only is the TWRA one of our sponsors, but we like to think that we are the voice of the TWRA in West Tennessee. And now with our good listeners in Brownsville and Jackson, we're able to expand our audience and also spread the word because the TWRA is these are busy times, and Bill being a commissioner, in fact, second-term commissioner, which means he will serve 12 years.
That just means he's a glutton for punishment.
That's
12 years.
Just didn't learn the first time.
And commission years, what does that add up to? About 45 or so? He's not
Actually,
shooting.
it's about 2.
It is? 2. All right. Yeah. He's not trying to break Tom Hensley's record, I don't think, with that. But, Bill, we appreciate you being here. And
Thank you.
We've talked many times with Bill, either on the phone or a short segment, but we're going to spend a lot of time with him and the issues that are going on in the agency. And, of course, Dave has spent so many years with the agency, particularly in his position as information officer for Region 1. And, of course, Gene Smith has taught thousands of hunter education students out there from West Tennessee in his career. And it's hard to believe when you sit down right now and think about hunting seasons when we're finally getting some warm weather here. But we're in a period of comment period right now between now and I think middle of May, 15th or something along that line, of comments on the proposed hunting regulations for 2018 and 2019. And under the new setup now, we are setting these regulations fishing 1 year, hunting 1 year. So talk a little bit about that, Bill, the reasons for that and how the commission thought it would be good to, shift year to year.
Well, the agency spends a lot of time.
Get your face on that microphone. Yeah, there you go.
I don't ever have a hard time being heard.
Well, turn up your hearing aid.
The agency spends a lot of time preparing for season settings, and the thought is that if we set it every other year, that the agency might spend more time meeting with the public and doing other things than trying to prepare for a season setting. So it's I hope it works well. It's visiting it every year is something that I like, but that doesn't mean that it can't be done every other year and be a great move. I did ask that the agency, and the agency has agreed to have 2 public meetings a year in each region of the state.
That's good.
To have people like Gabbard and the law enforcement, fisheries, wildlife on site where you could have a public forum and ask questions. And why are you doing this? And if they want to bring up subjects, and we hope it's not just a huge snowball fight, but
right.
It's an opportunity to be face to face with some of the guys that manage our outreach programs and our fish and wildlife and boating and law enforcement, to talk to them.
Yeah, and face to face, I know Bill has been, I'm saying a valiant, but he has been anybody that wants to serve twice as a commissioner must have either a great heart for this or he was gone the day that they voted. I don't know, because Bill, of course, a lot of our folks, and Bill said we don't want to talk about, but I think, Bill is from Collierville. His roots are in Collierville. His dad was a former mayor, long time for Collierville. His brother, Wright, is part of the political scene in Collierville. Bill's a businessman. But if you ask him why he does what he does, I know that he loves the outdoors, and he stands up for the sportsman because he loves to turkey hunt. I've actually seen him with a bird in a hand in a photograph.
Yes.
I don't know if that's the same one that I had my picture made with or not, but I've done. But he is an outdoorsman. But so tell our listeners, I know the commissioner, before we get into the other things, how do you become a wildlife commissioner?
Well, as it is in most political appointments, it
is a political appointment.
It's a political appointment, and you hope that whether it's the governor or whether it's either of the speakers that have appointments, that they do their research and they find someone who is qualified, is a hunter and a fisherman, and has some experience. Business experience, or they're an accountant, or a lawyer, or something.
It's a real wide range of occupations sitting up there.
But it's typically the list. Some of the NGOs, Tennessee Wildlife Federation, might present 3 names, or someone else may submit a name. You can call your representative and say, would you throw my name in the hat in the governor's office? Or you can call the governor's office and just tell them who you are. And typically, it's as a lot of political appointments, it's about who you know.
That's right, yeah.
But they do research to find out if you are qualified to do what they're asking you to do. It's like the Board of Trustees, University of Tennessee.
Yeah.
There are certain qualifications that make you a better candidate than others. Not that I'm anything special, but of the people that they had on the list down here, I suppose that they liked me from experience or They
Two
just thought
times.
I was the best looking guy. I don't know which one.
Well, we won't get
I'm
carried
sure
away
that's
too
not what
much
it
on
is.
that. But what are you going to say?
Well, I just what
You
people,
can say anything you want now. You don't
well,
work
I don't,
for that.
you know, and I've got to commend, because like Bill just said, a lot of it's appointments, and sometimes the powers to be is making the appointments. They do the research, and sometimes, what I always said, it's like
what now?
getting
Watch it
somebody.
now.
No, it's like you're appointing somebody to a board of directors that to manage a $1 billion corporation, and that's what the hunting and fishing brings into Tennessee.
That's what it
Billions
is.
of dollars.
And
And you want somebody, and thankfully like Bill,
yeah,
that knows his stuff and is passionate about it and doesn't mind, because these guys have to travel.
they have to travel.
and
That's not a paid position here.
not-
I
and
mean,
they have to put his business on hold when he's doing agency business
yeah.
and everything. So sometimes over my almost 35 years with the agency, I've seen some good ones, and I've seen some that you go, how did you make it here, folks?
Now you can say it now. Now you can say it. Particularly now, I don't know how many of them. You did it for 6 years back in the
2001 to 2007.
Okay. Now they come to you again, and you've done this once. There haven't been a whole lot of double term commissioners. If you go back and over and look and see, why did you want to do it again?
Well, as I've told you, I tell you every time you ask me.
I'm going to ask you every time too, because my listeners want to know.
It is an honor and a privilege to work for anybody that loves the outdoors and hunts and fishes and loves the sport, to be able to work around the professionals that do it for a living.
Yeah.
It is a special appointment to get at a special time, and I really, after I served the first time, I thought, that's probably it. And I was kind of a groupie a little bit. I'd go back to a meeting and I'd go see some of the guys in Nashville and I'd eat dinner with them, and that, I enjoyed being around that. Like I said, I was a rock and roll groupie, I suppose. I just enjoyed being around the guys, and I met the new commissioners, and it doesn't hurt to know who your commissioner is, and for him to know you if you've got something you want, some input you want to have. But when it got down to the fifth year, I was gone. I was just interested in who was on the list and tried to dug around a little bit and found out they were having a little bit of a problem. They had 2 or 3 people down here that were on a list, but I thought, well, somebody said, why don't you do it again? And I said, well, I hadn't thought about it, but
you're
after I had 2 or 3 people, Mr. Dance, Mr. Dance.
Yes,
He asked me to look into it again, so I did, and I put my name in the hat, and they couldn't find anybody any better, I suppose. So
Amen to that.
We settled.
Well, it was a small hat.
I didn't mean we settled. They settled and let me do it again, and I appreciate the governor appointing me again, and I hope I've worked hard enough and done a good job.
Well, we're going to talk more with Bill on some issues that are current right now with the TWRA, whether it's hunting season setting or the fishing regulations and the antlerless deer thing that we got going. We're going to take a break and be right back on Outdoors with Larry Ray with Bill Cox talking TWRA, and, of course, Brother Darrell and Brother Darrell are in the room, Dave and
Let's
June.
go see if we can find the mariachi band.
We'll be right back.
Olay.